Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
The snow could linger into the morning for some of us. We head straight to Hutch tonight to tell us where it's winding down and what to expect for your Friday. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Stacy. As we take a look at our cameras out to the west of our studios here in South Fargo, we still have clouds, but the snow letting up consistently here. There's more snow down to the south as we take a look at what is going on. We still have enough of it around the area to cause some problems. I'll look at the radar in a minute, but take a look at this. Beardsley with 10 inches of flaky material and Browns Valley with over 6. Now, these reports were from earlier. It continues to snow in those areas. Ellendale, 6 inches of heavy shovel trouble there. And in the Fargo area, an update now, 2.3 inches, and the snow starting to wrap up a bit. Now, let's take a look at that radar. We still see snow showers working their way through here in the Central Valley, just south of Fargo, Clay County, and into Lakes Country from Pelican Rapids through Detroit Lakes and off toward the Frazee area, a band of moderate snow there. This winter storm warning continues until the 10 o'clock hour. And here's a look at your drive time forecast for the early evening hours. It looks like the snow continues through the late evening. And then as we get between 8 and 10 o'clock, it wraps up for most of us. We still could see some snowfall as we go towards daybreak. But Stacy, it does look like temperatures are going to be very cold following this round of snow. Hour by hour details on the rest of your forecast for the weekend ahead in a few minutes.
All right, Hutch, thank you so much. And conditions worsened the further south you went today. Valley News Team's Devin Fry is live in Hankinson this evening with an update for us. Devin?
That's right, Stacy. We're here in Hankinson, North Dakota right now, right outside the Dakota Magic Casino. I'm not sure if the camera does it justice, but the snow's starting to come back down pretty hard again. It's really consistent, not big flakes, small flakes, but coming down really consistently and really just getting carried by this strong wind. The wind really bites through you. When we were driving down through I-29 from Fargo here to Hankinson, the roads were really starting to get kind of a buildup the farther south you went. About halfway between Fargo and Hankinson, that's where it started to build up on those roads a little bit, so make sure to use caution while driving out there. And if you're outside, please be prepared for this weather. Like I said, this wind is really biting, and we don't expect this to go anywhere in some spots, as Hutch said. So just be cautious when you get out here today, and make sure to stay safe, especially out there on those slick roads. We're going to talk more about that, but for right now, reporting from Hankinson, Devin Fry, Valley News Live.
All right, thanks, Devin. And make sure you have the Valley News Live Storm Team weather app so you can keep up with the weather anytime, anywhere. You'll get the latest forecast and conditions so you can plan your day. Just search VNL Weather in the App Store and download it for free. Our winter weather has many parents wondering how schools will handle snow days when it comes to both in-person and distance learning days. Valley News Team's Bailey Hurley spoke with several school districts this afternoon to get those answers. She has her story.
It's only October 22nd, but today marked the first snow day of the year for Barnesville Public Schools.
This is starting pretty early already.
Superintendent John Ellerbush says the district has 5 built-in e-learning days in case of inclement weather, but says instead of using one of those already, he made the call to have students do distance learning.
The concern I had was it's so early into the winter season that we could quickly go through the 5 e-learning days.
Ellerbush says the difference between the two learning types comes down to the amount of teacher and student interaction, and says while he thought the decision was best for everyone, he says some parents weren't happy.
An e-learning day would be easier for them, parent of very young grades, because it's not as interactive, require much at home for the parents to set things up for their children.
Ellerbush says the district is now taking a second look at their process before Mother Nature strikes again. And West Fargo School says they're also working on what new snow days will look like, encouraging students to start a new habit of bringing their schoolwork and device home each night as a precaution. And Fargo, Moorhead, and Grand Forks public schools say while they also don't have a plan for inclement weather days yet, they are actively working on one and expect to release one to parents very soon. In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
Central Cass Public Schools have extra days already figured into their calendar, but in the event of needing more hours, the district will determine if there will be scheduled makeup days or if they'll implement distance learning. A 60-year-old woman is recovering after an accident involving a garbage truck. Around 6:40 this morning, the Cass County Sheriff's Office responded to a reported injury accident on County Road 10 and 166th Avenue Southeast between Mapleton and West Fargo. The 60-year-old woman driving the car had to be extricated from her vehicle. The 39-year-old man driving the garbage truck and his passenger were not injured. Officials believe slippery road surfaces played a factor in that crash. A man is now charged after police say he pointed a gun at a group of people in downtown Fargo. 27-year-old Jesse Burnett is charged with 1 count of felony terrorizing. He'll be in court again next month. Officers say he was waving a gun at people behind the Bismarck Tavern around 1:30 yesterday morning after an argument began inside the Bismarck. Officers say they found a handgun and drugs inside Burnett's car. The judge in the George Floyd case has decided not to dismiss the charges against the former Minneapolis police officers. All 3 officers had requested to have all charges dismissed. That was denied with one exception. The 3rd-degree murder charge against former officer Derek Chauvin has been dropped. The higher 2nd-degree charge remains. The other former officers are charged with aiding and abetting 2nd-degree murder. Tonight's final debate between President Trump and Democratic challenger Joe Biden offers a high-stakes opportunity for the candidates to deliver their closing arguments before a huge national audience. Alice Barr is in Nashville, Tennessee, with what to watch for tonight.
With the candidates arriving in Nashville and the plexiglass barriers in place, the stage is set for a presidential debate like no other. It's the last chance before Election Day for President Trump and Joe Biden to make their case to tens of millions of Americans looking for the clear policy discussion lacking in the last chaotic debate.
Biden has an opportunity to prosecute the case against Trump. Donald Trump has to make that case that we're going in the right direction and stick with me.
Amid questions over whether the president will soften his tone, today he's choosing to pick a fight with CBS News. The White House releasing its own recording of a 60 Minutes interview the president claims showed bias, hatred, and rudeness. The network defending what it calls full, fair, and contextual reporting, releasing a preview clip in which President Trump cited the economy over coronavirus as his top domestic priority.
To get back to normal, get back to where we were, to have the economy rage and be great with jobs and everybody be happy, and that's where we're going.
CBS also releasing part of a companion interview with Biden, who has avoided answering whether he supports adding justices to the Supreme Court, now saying he wants a bipartisan commission to study court reform and keep the high court from becoming a political football.
Presidents come and go. Supreme Court justices stay for generations.
Debate already raging before the candidates ever set foot on stage.
In an effort to cut down on the interruptions tonight, the candidates' microphones will be muted at certain points while the other is speaking, though there will still be plenty of opportunities for them to go back and forth. The number of Americans filing for first-time unemployment numbers have fallen for 3 weeks in a row, but the numbers still show a lot of pain in the marketplace. The Labor Department reports that 787,000 people filed for first-time benefits last week. That's better than most analysts expected, and it's the 3rd drop in unemployment benefits in 3 weeks. But 787,000 is well off of pre-pandemic numbers back in March. The North Dakota Department of Health is confirming more than 1,000 new cases of COVID-19 throughout the state. In Cass County alone, 280 cases are being reported, followed by 209 in Burleigh County. The daily positivity rate has jumped to more than 13%. There are now 6,000 active cases throughout the state. 156 COVID patients are hospitalized. The city of Moorhead may have to close recycling sites after people continue to throw garbage in them. The Public Works Director says in the past 6 months, more people are throwing trash in recycling containers, especially at the Southside Regional Park at the corner of 23rd Street South and 40th Avenue South. It's costing extra money and forcing actual recyclables to end up in the landfill. The Public Works Director says if this continues, the city will be forced to shut down the sites. Coming up on Valley News Live at 5, examining the COVID mortality rate around the world. Who's getting it right and how are they doing it?
South and eastern counties, as we head into the evening, the snow will wrap up, but I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast and what you can expect coming up right after this.